Hey legends, James Russell here from TradieVA, and every week in the Time Rich Tradie, we find out what it takes to build your trade empire. Get off the tools if you want to and not spend 80 hours a week doing it. If you like what you hear, share, subscribe, get more juice. Today's episode is a must listen if SimPro is part of your setup, or should be. Let's face it, most tradies, in fact, I'd probably say 95%, are not using it properly, barely scratching the surface, wasting a whole bunch of coin, or are just flat out overwhelmed by it. So that's why today we've actually brought Georgia Bell. She's the director of Bell Consulting Group, and she's my go-to cleanup crew for turning those messy SimPro setups into smooth and scalable systems. She's worked with trades, businesses a long time, knows exactly what's being missed and what's the shit that needs to get binned. So we're going to dive into the 5 things you're probably not doing in SimPro, but should be, and maybe a couple that are quietly killing your workflow as well. So Georgia, thanks so much. And yeah, welcome.
Thanks, James. It's great being here. I always love being able to come in and drop some wisdom, hopefully saving some people the grind on trying to find the answer to that one question.
As one of the top contributors on the SimPro user community, you're like, oh, that's the Georgia, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah,
That's the one.
it was so great. A couple of months ago, I actually hit all-star status in the group because I've been in this for, it'd probably be about 7 years now
I know, I
that I've
know.
been in there contributing.
Old mate gave you a good shout out the other day. I thought that was very nice of him as well. So yeah, let's kick things off nice and simple, Georgia. Well, what do you reckon is the most common thing that you see when the tradies come to you, bring their SimPro for a fix to you?
The one thing that everyone comes to me with is it's hard. I don't know how to do it. And a lot of the time, what it comes back to is they're trying to do everything. They're not just sticking to the simple, what are the key things that I need to do to get the job done? Most people are trying to throw in the automations and the custom dashboards before they've nailed how to get paid for a job.
So why do you think that there's so many businesses do end up only just scratching the surface? Okay, that's what I see. I'm sure you do too, of what SimPro can or should actually do.
For me, I always think it comes back to for the tradies out there that start using this system, they went through apprenticeships, they became a great tradie. That's why they started a business. But no one ever actually teaches them what does it take? What do they actually need to focus on? And then we start getting distracted and we end up going down a rabbit hole and spending 10 hours just trying to figure out one thing. And it gets really demoralizing. I remember when I started learning SimPro and figuring out how when they sell me a coil of cable, how do I break 100 meters actually out when they sell it to me as one? I don't even want to know how long it took me to figure that out. And I completely understand that most people aren't going to want to spend the time trying to figure out that one thing. So that it's too hard.
It's not just as well for the people who already got SimPro and potentially overwhelmed and aren't using it. I've got quite a few people I talk to who it's come up as something to move to, whether they're on a simpler system, TradieVA or something like that, and they know that they need to scale up and get something, but they're overwhelmed by or they're using a whiteboard or an Excel
Mhm.
spreadsheet. And they've been told that maybe SimPro is the one, but they're scared. They're scared of just jumping in and doing something. What would you say to them, to those guys who haven't made listening to this going, is this going to help me actually get started in the first place?
Getting started with SimPro, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It takes work getting it set up, and you've got to be prepared to do that work. But what you've also got to be prepared for is to just stay focused on what you need it to do right now, not what it can do. Because that's where people get stuck. I've implemented SimPro into over 100 businesses at this point. It used to be what I did every single day. And so many people would get distracted by, oh, I can put a image in here and it'll show up over there. When really, that's one of those little 1% changes that we make to bring your sales to the next level. And it's not required to get you going. You've just got to focus on that, what we call it the critical part, which
That's
is
it.
what is the least amount of steps that it's going to take me to get a quote sent, a job done, and get paid. If you focus on that and every time you see a shiny thing, just write it on a piece of paper and go, yep, that's on the wish list, you'll be fine. But as soon as you start trying to go through that wish list at the start, that's when you're going to sink into that overwhelm and go, it's way too hard.
It's like
I
what you
know
said,
so
right?
many.
Yeah, it's the idea of they're trying to do something before they've figured out how to do their job. Yes.
100%.
There's only what
And then
15, 20 tasks that need to actually really happen to get someone who wants a job through to someone who's paid for a job and happy.
exactly.
And if you don't get those, what's the point?
And
No.
then so many people end up just using SimPro as a glorified scheduling tool because they don't know how to do anything else now.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're talking about 5 things today, so we want to keep this simple. It's not about the 100 tasks. And I guess we do that a lot in this podcast is take that giant list that everybody's got and go, fuck it. Let's go 5. So 5 things that tradies should be doing in SimPro, but probably aren't. Hit me with number 1.
The first one is to make your sales process easy. Every business needs it. It is the lifeblood. If you don't have sales coming in and you're winning, then you're not going to have a business at the end of the day. And there's so many things in SimPro that you can do to just make it easy. You can set up your pre-builds for the things that you sell all the time. People come to me and they go, but it's going to take so much time. And I just go, just set them up as you do it. Every time you think about you quoting something, you go, am I going to quote for this again? Is this something that we do all the time? Set it up. And it's the same with getting your scripts set up. So you're not retyping the same thing on every single quote. And there's also a couple of other things that go with it. Make sure you've got a checklist for your quoting so that you're thinking about everything that you need. Make sure that your terms and conditions are absolutely locked in. You've got to protect yourself. And then just turn on the automatic follow-ups. So many of us send the quote and then just leave it there because we're already on to the next thing. Set them up because you want to win on the work that you've done.
I love it. I love that we're starting exactly where you should be, at the bloody start.
Yep.
So number 1, sales, get your scripts, your pre-builds, a checklist, and automate those follow-ups. Okay, so great. Now we're in there. It's simple. We've got some sales. They're pushing through. What's another one? What's the next thing that's going to make quoting, scheduling, cash flow? Where are we going next?
Next one is template out everything. So much time gets wasted in a business just by trying to find the right information. You don't need more calls between team members or more reminders to get the information. You just need some better templates.
Give me your best top few templates that they need to get in right now.
Intake calls. Every time you're on the phone with a new customer that wants a quote for something, you hit list of the questions that you need to get answers to so that the person quoting it knows what they need to quote. And probably the biggest one that every trades business needs is a template to get information from your field team back to the office.
That's my favorite. Thank you.
The office should have every single piece of information that they need the moment the job is done to get that invoice out the door.
By the way, listeners, my favorite. So please do that. Get that clean data that looks the same. The actions taken, the actions that need to be taken, the materials used, the hours there, whatever it is that you need. Let's just get that stuff. Simple from the team. What's the third template?
For me, it's generally then a checklist for here's the things that you need to do on a job to actually close it out.
Closing checklist. Beautiful. All right. So we've got sales. We've now got some templates to make sure that data collection is clean and consistent. What's number 3? Maybe a feature people don't even know exists.
or feature probably the map, the scheduling map.
All right.
Honestly, I showed someone the other week and they were like, how did I not know this exists? Because a lot of the time people are scheduling things out weeks in advance, particularly all those guys doing preventative maintenance. And they're going, how do I group all of my jobs together that need to get done? And there's a really easy answer to that. Go to your pending jobs list, select the jobs, and at the bottom of the screen, there's a map jobs button, and it's going to put them all on the map for you. And then schedule them all together on the other screen. Use one as your reference screen and do the work in the other.
Huh.
Absolute game changer. Most people don't know it exists.
Could I actually just funny you mentioned that when you said have it on one screen, have it on the other?
Yeah.
Can I just add a 3A in here and say, make sure any single person who's using SimPro has two screens? I know you're like, don't they? But no.
You have your one reference screen. So that's where you start
Yeah.
looking things up. You run your reports,
Yeah.
you look at your job list, and then you do everything
Yeah.
in the other. When you
Yeah.
get SimPro, your implementation consultant's going to tell you, only ever use SimPro in one screen. And they're lying.
Great.
Just don't change things in more than one
Yeah, yeah.
screen. Just know your left is
Data from one, enter in the other. There's a good, okay, that's our 3A. Two screens, data from one, enter in the other. That's a winner. And now the fourth. So that an automation, again, because you said they always jump to a million of these, right? But let's pick one. Let's pick one because everybody's going to have to scratch that itch, right? Other than the automated follow-ups, right? Which will be done for the sales. That's done. There's the one automation tool people should take advantage of earlier rather than later.
turn it on for your invoices as well.
Ah, beautiful.
Don't be afraid to be pushy. Too
Yes.
many people send the email, it's just following up. Delete the word just from your vocabulary. And don't be afraid to make people feel a little bit guilty.
That's it.
Because they haven't paid you. You only have to feel guilty once setting it up.
Yep.
And get paid when you should be paid.
Which does bring us now. I know we chatted about this before the show to the fifth, and I'm going to say fifth, but you and me, we know it's not. What is, we could have called it a feature. I'm not even going to call it a feature. What is the thing that everybody needs to do that's going to make the biggest difference to everything?
Know your job profit when the job is going on. James and I were talking about my biggest pet peeve when it comes to the trades industry, and it is this term called back costing, which is the assumption that you have to sit there and do all of the work to get all of the costs into your job once it's already done and finished. If you are doing the basics of your field team is actually logging their time to the jobs, the materials that they're using end up on the jobs, they're raising POs properly, there is no such thing as back costing because it's already there for you before you invoice it so that you know you're making money.
Absolutely. If anybody's confused about what that means, go back to the episode that is around job auditing and what that looks like. You should know everything that happened, what happened, when be profitable in the middle of a project, as soon as a job's done, even with the purchase orders. Yeah, beautiful. So know your numbers as they're happening. And so you just mentioned your PO process. So obviously getting that put in beforehand.
Yep.
And you're checking of it on the day from either something that's in the van or from in the stock or from a supplier, and then the labor. Profit's not that bloody complicated, right? It's only two things. It's how much labor and materials. Labor and materials.
I'll let you guys in on a secret that I share with my client when it comes to this. It makes looking at those numbers in SimPro to make sure that you're actually getting them right so easy. Your estimates column, when you're looking at a job, is the parts and labor tab. The actuals column is the schedule tab and the stock tab. That's all you need to look at and know when it comes to looking at whether you've made profit in a job on SimPro.
I hope everybody paused that and got that bit of gold there, because that'll change your life if you know how to look at it and go and see that. I love that, Georgia. I'm going to take that on because I had never really thought about it as being That's if people want these complex BI reports, you just told them that was it. That's going to save them a whole bunch of money getting something they probably don't need. And that's the data they need. I love it. Now we've added 5 things. These are gold, and sales, the templates, the map, automation, and damn well your costings as they're happening, know your profit. Now let's look at the sins, the SimPro sins. What is the shit that they need to stop doing?
It's everyone's least favorite area of SimPro, it's their catalog. If you have more than 7,000 parts in your catalog, you are doing it wrong. Your catalog should just have what you use and the things that you have a high likelihood of using. And a lot of the time from your suppliers, you can get that list. You get their list of their top 5,000 parts plus all the stuff that you use. And that's what you put in. Because if your catalog is greater than 7,000, I can 100% guarantee you that you are riddled with duplicates and old prices, which means every time you go to quote something, with the state of the world, you've just lost money.
If they look at it, they go, oh, I just checked, I've got 12,000. Is it a start from scratch? Is it a go back through it? How do they go about dealing with
If you've got more than 50,000 parts in your catalog, you need to hit the big red button and
Yep.
start from scratch. If you've got less than that, there's a few reports built into SimPro that you can use. First, we've got the inactive catalog item report. It's set for 12 months. You hit the button and it's going to show you what parts haven't been touched in 12 months. What haven't we used? And you can archive all the ones you haven't used directly from that report. Just clear it out. And then once you've done that, use the duplicate catalog item report. It's going to look at what has the same part number and you can go through and merge them all together.
Beautiful. Done. I see. I love this. This is the goal. This is the actual stuff they can do tomorrow. And so give me some common traps. Just quoting, scheduling, reporting, things that they just steer clear of. Just don't do it. Common traps.
Common traps when it comes to quoting, don't get caught up in making it pretty first. Because while pretty might be a 1%er, there's a million other things that you can do first that's a 10xer to actually get you to win the job.
Beautiful. They focus on the function, not the frills.
100%. Just nail the basics.
Awesome. And so how often should someone be reviewing their critical job flow or their flow and their SimPro setup?
Oh, 100%. So generally, I'd say review the way that you're doing things. Give it a big review once a year. Battle tactic. But you should also then be looking at when issues come up every single day. Is there something that someone doesn't know how to do or is constantly going, oh, this is really hard, and bring them up then so that you can make those incremental improvements, because no one wants to sit there and change everything at once. It's about the little thing so that you don't get overwhelmed with everything changing. And then have it be one person's responsibility to manage the product releases. Every 2 weeks on a Monday morning or generally on a Sunday afternoon, SimPro will release their product update article. Have it be one person's job on the Monday to skim it. There might be a new feature or an updated feature that does something that completely changes the game. So many people don't know that it was about 3 months ago, SimPro released automatic pushing customers on stop so that the team doesn't do work for people
I didn't even
that
know
have
that
a
was
high
something.
debt.
That's
They automated that a couple of months ago and people have no idea because it used to be a manual feature. And then if you didn't look at the release notes, you wouldn't know because the setting's sitting in defaults, which people never look at.
I love it. So get someone daily definite Monday morning, check the release notes, see what's a game changer and update. Beautiful.
100%. Keep that wish list that I talked about. If it's something that you go, oh, that'd be really cool, but it's not going to be a 10x thing right now, put it on the list. And
Yeah,
then you can pick one thing from the list every quarter that you want to implement.
I love it. You have made it so simple for us as you always do. You know your shit, and that's why we get you in, as well as just lovely to deal with. Now, so if you're still fumbling your way through SimPro, you've got the inside track now to clean it up and level it up and finally make things work for you, not the other way around. It's not a cheap piece of kit, right? So stop using it as a one-trick pony and get it to actually work for you. So if you are loving the Time Rich Tradie podcast and our guest, or someone who needs this in their life, share it, hit subscribe, stay tuned for more ways to systemize it, optimize it, delegate it, and scale the bloody thing. Thank you so much, Georgia, for joining us today. And yeah, we'll definitely catch you very soon for the next person I need cleaning up. And for all listeners, catch you next time.